Welcome back to Sports First, another edition of Sports First, the one esports. Let's look at some of the games that have happened and all the situations around the NBA. A little bit of standings look, a little bit of stats, and just a little bit of rookie talk, and it'll be as quicksand. Not really, but it'll be smooth. Let's get right into it. Sitting atop the Western Conference, shockingly, the Utah Jazz, the Donovan Mitchell is Utah Jazz, the Rudy Gobert ish, can't even get that one right, but Jazz. Mike Conley, with Mike Conley, Jazz. Jordan Clarkson killing it, Jazz. I mean, to be honest, it's a pretty good team. I mean, since they're killing it, but I mean, like most of us, I didn't really think they'd kill it like how they're doing it right now. If they're like what an eight spot or to be honest, even if they're an eight spot, I'd still be a little bit shocked. If anything, you'd probably think a team like Pelicans or maybe Mavericks. You wouldn't be shocked in that scenario, like a team like the Clippers. But with Kawhi always sitting down, getting his rest. I don't know how that happens for the Clippers. If anything, the Clippers finish top four, top five ish. But then again, maybe that doesn't happen because I mean that West Coast is tiff. I mean, look at Warriors. They're not even getting their dubs. They had one or two wins. They had a pretty bad record at one point of this season. They were as bad as the you know who's. Let's not speak of them. Wait, let's do the dumpster fire Lakers. Man, have they been horrendous. As AD said, people fear them. More like they fear everybody. I didn't have too much hopes for them, but I mean, I still believe they'd be, one of those teams at the top area. You got three guys. I think they're three of them were in the top 75 team. I know LeBron was, and obviously LeBron was. And Westbrook obviously was in there too. I'm not sure if AD was actually a part of that team. I mean, the guy's injured half the time, so should be a shocker. I don't actually know who's specifically all in, but some players you can just point out. But um, Rockets, to be honest, I expected a lot more from them than the Utah Jazz. But that's most people would probably think that anyways. Just because they got the young talent, but I mean Utah's got a little bit of not I wouldn't say young at all, to be honest. It's players, a couple of them in their prime, a couple of them head into that area. I guess you could say Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley are in there. Let's look a little bit to the East because, like I said, it's pretty short and sweet. Bucks started off real nice. I think they were 9-0 at one point. Celtics, nice as well. Team that started off really bad, the 76ers. For God's sake, 76ers and Nets started off real bad. They're starting to the Nets at least are somewhat starting to pick it up. I mean, even though Kyrie with the anti-Semina, can't even get the freaking word out right now. For God's sakes, help me. Um, yeah, Kyrie dealing with his whole situation, and yeah, not pretty out there in Brooklyn. James Harden left last year. Um, I mean, it's not they as in the Detroit Pistons. It is not a pretty record, but they're, I guess you could say, I mean, they're fun to watch because they got Jaden Ivey now. Um, they got a pretty good all around young, I guess you could say, core since. I mean, they've had so many freaking draft picks. Like, how the fuck can't you be that? You have to be that. Don't go away and trading for some bum star. Obviously, teams do that where they have a lot of youngers and they eventually trade two of them in a package deal and all that shit. I feel like You got to stick to your guns. Your Pistons. Um, I mean, you've been shit for what 3 years or so, and you might as well ride the coaster and see what the hell happens. Who knows? You might end up picking it up. I mean, it's only 13 games played, and the freaking NBA season is it 84 or 82? Forget which one of those two it is, but I feel like that's a lot of games. I don't know. I don't feel like everybody thinks that, but everybody knows that's a shit ton of games. 82, for God's sakes. Trying to kill a man. Keeping up with these highlights and watching games and shit. Um, but yeah, the top's looking pretty decent. Not too much. I mean, if there's any shockers, it's probably the Wizards, but they got Bradley Beal back, and they got an all-around decent team. But that team is probably gonna drop off. I mean, I don't see the Miami Heat staying or the 76ers staying at in the 11 and 12 spots. To be honest, the Magic have had a couple of good wins as of late. I mean, just yesterday the Suns won against the Mavericks. These are playoff teams, and they're in the West freaking Coast. But similar to Pistons, I feel like, I mean, to be honest, the Pistons should be the team that's already in this area that the freaking Gabagoos are. But Bancaro, man, this guy, top notch player, rookie of the year candidate, number one at the moment. This guy ain't no joke. I mean, to be honest, sometimes when you just watch one or two games, you're like, holy shit, they got a steal right there. Not a steal. I mean, he was first overall, so it was like they hit they hit it, they got it, and the Toyota got it. They got their mans, and now they just. I mean, to be honest, they got a lot of other good players, but that's similar to Detroit Pistons. The breakdown 2 years ago, or the rebuild 2 years ago, and all that good stuff. But then again, you have that loss from 3-4 days ago on Monday night here against the Rockets, which isn't pretty, but you know what you gonna do. But two back-to-back wins. I feel like the next two games they have are pretty. Actually, a couple of the next games they have are winnable. None of these, some of these teams have somewhat been struggling. To be honest, in me eyes, I feel like the Bulls game might be the toughest, even though the Timberwolves, they got the towers. Even though I feel like that was a terrible idea getting Rudy. Maybe he proves me wrong, but I didn't even like Rudy Gobert at the Jazz. The regular season is all good and stuff, but once you get to the playoffs, you get your true colors tend to show. Your Ben Simmons tend to show. Who knows? Maybe Ben Simmons flips the switch too and starts being more ack. Um, let's look a little bit. I mean, since we've somewhat looked at the standings and all that baloney, let's look at some of the stats. There he goes, top of the board for rebounds. Like, good fucking shit, Rudy, but still, Um, honestly, I feel like they downgraded Dez and the Timberwolves when they gave away players like Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley. Well, Malik, I understand why he had that charge a year ago or so. It makes some sense or short sense. Luka um, hitting 33.6 per game, which is insanity. Luke sanity. Uh, early MVP candidate right there. Uh, what's his name is that? I mean, it's still early, so like talking MVP and all that bullshit kind of doesn't really matter at the moment. But look, I guess you could say is that guy. James Harden with 10, 10 assists, 10 assists per game. But Harden's been out for a little bit, and I think he's still out. I thought it was 6 weeks that he was out for. Dame was out for 3, but Dame's already back. Oh, and that team right there, the Trailblazers, I didn't even say anything about them, but they are legitness. To be honest, I said that was it was a bad decision to keep Dame since you let everybody else go, but I guess the Trailblazers. I mean, obviously they know that's they're pros. They're supposed to do this kind of shit. You're supposed to know how to fucking rebuild. You're not supposed to be as stupid as some of these other teams and not know how to freaking rebuild and just be in the twilights for be in the hole pretty much for how many fucking years? 4 or 5 years, like the well, I can't say Magic because Magic actually were pretty decent a couple years back. Detroit Pistons, but damn, I don't even remember the last time they were good. At least they have a championships back in the 2000s. Um, I didn't even say anything about the Pelicans, but I didn't even know they had a fantasy point. See, I don't play NBA fantasy. I mainly play NFL fantasy, so I wouldn't even know about fantasy points per game. Baloney, baloney. 3 points percentage. Kelly Olynyk with the Utah Jazz. There you go. I think that's about. Rookies. Other than Bencaro, you have Detroit Pistons, Jaden Ivey, and then there's a couple of two. There's two Indiana players that are really good. I think that's. Oh yeah, Matherin. Yeah, he's pretty decent right there. I haven't seen too much of him play, but I've just when you look up the side, you're like, who is that? And watching highlights, you're like, who is that? And then you're like, I kind of want to watch the Indiana Pacers game, see what they're about. And then Jaden Ivey has just been awesome. Out there with the Detroit Pistons. So that hopefully it works out for them. Murray, I was actually watching today, seen him flush a couple of sprays. Eason, I don't think I've seen Eason play too much, but I've seen his boy Jabari Schmidt. I don't know whose list this is, but it's on NBA, and they're 5 and 6, and they're teammates. And Andrew for the Pacers. That's two different teammates. I don't know. It's weird lately in the NBA. It's been like that where two rookies come out and they both start killing it. I think Stu and Sadiq Bey was like that. There's another rookie for maybe that was a Detroit Pistons player I was talking about, and it wasn't actually a Houston Rockets player. Let's see if I was confused about that or not. No, Jaden Ivey, Mar Ishan. Where's that Smith? No, third overall Smith. Where is that? I am not seeing him. I mean, oh yeah, and Shaden Sharp obviously has been awesome. I can't think of that Detroit player. He's a rookie as well. But yeah, that'll be it for today, and hopefully next week or so I'll have some time to drop y'all some hot bars about these NBA. It's gone by quick, and it's craziness. I mean, what has it been, 2, 3 weeks or so? But hey, World Cup's around the corner too. You got all this UFC and all this other good stuff going on as well. So it's sometimes trying to decide like, am I gonna watch the NFL, NBA? Obviously, you got to choose NFL because NFL's not too far from being done. World Cup's not too far from being done. Um, NBA is on all weekdays, so you get to catch a whole bunch of freaking NBA, and you get to catch your World Cup games are early in the morning. So and UFC specific time too. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Sabotage.